up until maybe the last session, his hands were too narrow, which meant he wasn't able to lay down as much power as he needed to, which made his paddle ups harder.
Okay.
So it's sort of this, you got to find the sweet spot. Getting up, you can do it a couple ways. You can do it like surf style, all in one. Like in the flat water, there's not a lot of bumps that make it hard to balance, so you can kind of just pop up like a surf and then keep the paddle in the water and brace. Bracing will be really unfamiliar to you if you haven't done it kayaking or even stand up, you know, big boards. You don't brace that much.
Right.
But you gotta, this is one thing you'll practice in the flat water a lot. It's like bracing, and you always, it's like climbing a ladder. Like you're always trying to have 3 points of contact.
Okay.
You know, if you had your hands and your legs climbing a ladder, so it's that kind of concept. In this case, it's really 2 points, because this would be 1, this would be 2.
Right.
And you're always using the, you know, the paddle to kind of stabilize. It's a lot harder without the paddle. And then the other way you can get up, you can just do like a knee get up where you, ultimately this is another good way to practice, just whatever feels right. You can start bracing on your knees, right? And then you can go 1 foot up, and then you can use the brace to help you get up. It's a little more technical because that pop-up is, it starts to make the board a little unstable, but it also is good practice for bracing.
Right.
So that's how you get up. And then stance is really, ultimately, when you're riding, you're kind of centered up over the lift of the foil, which is kind of hard to see.
Mm-hmm.
When you're, that's really where you want to be when you're riding. And then when you're paddling up, it's a little bit of a feel exercise, but you want your stance to be sort of hip width, a little wider than hip width maybe.
Okay.
And you want the weighting of your body over the board to be so the tail is a little bit in the water and the board and the nose is a little out of the water.
Yeah.
The reason why is
this part looks difficult just as a whole.
This is by far the longest part of the learning curve.
you go to lay down power.
And what he's doing right now.
Go to lay down power, you end up leaning forward a little bit to put the catch as far forward and toward the nose as you can.
Okay.
And that puts the nose underwater. So if you're standing balanced, right, and you lay power down, the nose dives.
Right.
So if it's a little bit up and you go to put power in, then the nose just sinks a little bit. See, it doesn't go really underwater
enough to be
and then
flat
it
on the
stays
water,
up.
which is what you want.
Yeah. That makes
So
sense.
one last thing, and because there's a lot to the paddling, is the actual stroke itself. The stroke itself is, think nose to toes, right? It's a short stroke as far out as you can reach.
Okay.
The back arm is straight, the front arm's a little bit bent, kind of up by your forehead. And you're almost trying to go out in front of the nose, bring it back, and by the time it gets to your first set of toes, your foot, it's coming out. So,
Okay.
short, this takes a lot of practice. And that's the stroke to get up.
Explain to
If
him
you're
what.
just cruising around in the flat water,
Yeah.
you can kind of like mess around, you can brace, you can paddle back by your feet, but the only way to paddle straight, and then ultimately you increase your frequency with that same stroke, is to be up at the front of the board. As soon as you come back here, the board turns,
Right.
right? So if you're in front of your center of balance, and then you're out before, you're actually pulling the board this way with the stroke,
Mm-hmm.
and then it allows you to go straight. So watch, if I go like this,
Yeah. Crooked.
I start at my feet, I go around in a circle,
Yeah.
right? But if I go here up front and I'm out,
Right.
I go straight. In fact, if I go really far out, pull myself for the boat.
You can actually turn toe side.
So, you know, you gotta kind of mess around with that stuff. That's pretty much like the.
You're making it look easy.
Well, you don't want to know
I
how
can
many.
see-
You don't want to know how many hours I've spent on this.
You're also jacked.
Well,